So, morning, everyone. Once again, those who are joining live and then those who are listening to the recording, welcome. And it's always lovely to have you as part of our community and in our Mindful Moments tribe. So, today is Wednesday, the 18th of March. It's today is the new moon. Well, I think it's today or tomorrow. It depends when astrologically the slither of the moon was last spotted. So it's sometime in this next sort of 24 to 48 hours, which is the new moon in Pisces and marks the end of the astrological year, and a stepping into the new year. It also marks the end of Ramadan, um, for those who have been fasting, and the celebration of Eid. And at the same time, well, and then within a few days of each other, on the 20th of March this year, it's usually on the 20th, 21st, so it's which is Friday or Saturday, it's actually the autumn equinox in the southern hemisphere and the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. So there's actually just so much going on here astrologically, which is way beyond the scope of this mindful moment. But if you'd like to know a little bit more, Michelle McClellan and Pam Gregory, amongst many, many, many others, have done extensive videos on this particular time because it's such a significant time astrologically. There is so much around significant endings and new beginnings. It's such a transition point, but not just we're not just stepping into over these next few days. It's sort of this next year is such a huge transition point. So the March equinox is also called the vernal equinox, and it marks the sun's crossing above the Earth's equator. So it's moving from where it's been in the southern hemisphere. So we've had the lovely summer here in the southern hemisphere. Uh, it's moving much more into the northern hemisphere, and so they'll be stepping into spring and then into summer. So it marks the beginning of autumn. Well, it marks autumn for us and a shift towards winter. The At the equinox, the Earth's two hemispheres are receiving the sun's rays equally. So night and day are often said to be equal in length. Um, the actual word equinox comes from the Latin, which means equi or equal, and nox, night. And the sun actually rises exactly in the east and sets exactly in the west, wherever you are on the earth, on the equinox. So equinoxes generally are power points, and they're moments of balance. As I said, the balance of the sun rising exactly in the east and setting exactly in the west, the balance of day and night, the equal day and night. And equinoxes always, as power points, invite acceptance of change and us realizing the impermanence of life. Because as much as we would like to hold on to summer potentially, or hold on to different phases of our lives, hold on to different relationships or different situations, we can't hold on. There's always time is always moving, things are always changing, and the equinoxes remind us this. And with what's going on in the world, we can easily fall into victimhood and anxiety and constant worry. There's a lot going on for us all at the moment. And a little while ago, Pam Gregory did a lovely video called 10 Steps to Raise Your Frequency or Your Vibration, which has got very practical tools and quite worth watching. I watched it recently, a while ago, and it was a lovely reminder. But she talks about how we need to change things on the inside before they'll change on the outside. She used the analogy, it's a little bit like looking in the mirror and seeing a grumpy face. You can't change that face in the mirror. You have to change our own face and what's happening internally for us before what we see changes. So we can't wait until we see a happy face in the mirror until we feel better. So the way we can do this is again by dropping into our heart space, which is what we practice during our mindful moments. Um, and what we practice so that we can make more accessible during the day, dropping into our heart space and going around our day looking for things to be grateful for and to admire, to really seek out the sacred in our lives, so that we can really tap into and absorb it. Noticing we had a beautiful sunrise here, and I bringing the appreciation of being outside, watching the sunrise, realizing that that is exactly east, brings a really sacred and honoring energy to it. And so even to having a cup of tea or coffee, or to noticing the stars, to just taking a few breaths, perhaps with our feet on the grass outside, or just looking up at the sky, looking up at the clouds, just really looking for ways to stay centered and stay calm and stay peaceful during the storm of life. And so that we can up-level our frequency and take this into any interaction. Other ways are yeah, pausing, putting our hands on our heart, taking a few deep breaths and dropping into gratitude, perhaps just softening a shadow here, squeezing behind me. He likes to sit right behind me on the chair. Softening into a gentle smile, bringing that feeling of how we'd like to feel, even if it's not sitting at the surface of how we're feeling, inviting it into our space at that time. Music is so beautiful for changing our frequencies and stepping into a high frequency. So singing and humming. I often share a beautiful quote which says it's very hard to sing and to worry at the same time. And then to walk in nature, to hug a loved one, to hug a pet, to hug a tree, that feeling of connection. And there's a beautiful quote by a Nobel Peace Prize winning chemist and physicist. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, but he says, when a complex system is far from equilibrium, small islands of coherence in a sea of chaos have the capacity to shift the entire system into a higher order. So when a complex system is far from equilibrium, which is what we're seeing in the world, small islands of coherence, which is us who work on developing our coherence and our frequency, have the capacity to shift the entire system to a higher order. So we can be those small islands of coherence. So yeah, if you would like to know more about the astrology, it is so complex and so vast. I think Ellen touched on a little bit last week, but there's lots of lovely information out there. But for us for today, we're just going to really pause and acknowledge that there are huge energies going on. There's so much more than we can see or feel just with the equinox, just with the new moon. And so to be gentle with ourselves as we move through this, and to be gentle with each other, and to also hold each other and ourselves lightly. And to also share this with others who might be going through difficult times and not actually realize what's going on externally as well. So I invite us to come into this time for a mindful moment, perhaps taking off your shoes if you've got them on so that you can be connected with the earth, assuming a position of upright dignity on a cushion or chair, anchoring feet onto the earth, noticing your seat on your cushion or chair. Sitting upright, stretching up the spine, opening shoulders, head and neck towards the sky, towards the heavens. And as we enter this mindful moment, just letting these words land, these words by Julia Fehrenbacher, which is called from her poem, Go Gently Today. Go gently today. Don't hurry or think about the next thing. Walk with the quiet trees. Can you believe how brave they are? How kind? Model your life after theirs. Blow kisses at yourself in the mirror, especially when you think you've messed up. Forgive yourself for not meeting your unreasonable expectations. You are human, not God. Don't be so arrogant. Praise fresh air, clean water, good dogs. Spin something from joy. Open a window, even if it's cold outside. Sit, close your eyes, breathe. Allow the river of it all to pulse through eyelashes, fingertips, bare toes. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe until you feel your bigness, until the sun rises in your veins. Breathe until you stop needing anything to be different. And so we sit here for the next few minutes, breathing in and breathing out. And just following each breath, allowing it to take you in, receiving the breath, and then a letting go and exhale. Just being here for each breath, each imperfect breath. And as we settle into our bodies, perhaps scanning gently through our bodies, starting at the top of our head, just gently moving down, head, scalp, forehead, face, jaw, down into the neck, shoulders. And as you do so, just inviting and allowing a gentle softening, perhaps noticing that you're holding on and inviting a letting go, and scanning down, chest, heart space, belly, pelvic bowl. Just gently scanning down through this part of the body to reach the anchoring and grounding or cushion or chair. Feeling into the rootedness and connectedness. And then scanning down hips, thighs, knees, calves, front of shins, ankles, and into the feet. Gently allowing your attention to ripple through every part of the body. And then gently coming back to your heart space and just sitting here, wrapped in the breath, in each breath. Go gently today. Don't hurry or think about the next thing. Walk with the quiet trees. Can you believe how brave they are? How kind. Model your life after theirs. Blow kisses at yourself in the mirror, especially when you think you've messed up. Forgive yourself for not meeting your unreasonable expectations. You are human, not God. Don't be so arrogant. Praise fresh air, clean water, good dogs. Spin something from joy. Open a window, even if it's cold outside. Sit, close your eyes, breathe. Allow the river of it all to pulse through the eyelashes, fingertips, bare toes. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe until you feel your bigness, until the sun rises in your veins. Breathe until you stop needing anything to be different. So we all sit here, each in our own space, but connected by our breath. Praising the fresh air, the vitality in our bodies. Really tapping into this sensation of gratitude in our heart space. With each breath, you may want to rest your hands on your heart or invite a small softening smile. Noticing how each breath fans our gratitude. Allowing it to expand into our veins, expand through our bodies. Holding ourselves in our heart space, a part of us that sometimes feels not good enough, not worthy enough, not enough. And just offering a moment of gentle compassion. Forgiving ourselves for not meeting our unreasonable expectations. planting seeds of gratitude in our heart space, the things we're grateful for this morning. Comfortable bed, cup of tea or coffee or warm water. Clothes, sunshine. Closeness of loved one or pet. Stepping into our day, gratitude for what lies ahead. Bringing to mind and to heart things that lie ahead in your day. Offering gratitude for them in your heart space. Not moving into thinking or planning, just noticing when we do and just bringing it back to our heart space. Feelings of gratitude. Praise fresh air, clean water, good dogs. Spin something from joy. Open a window, even if it's cold outside. Sit, close your eyes, breathe. Allow the river of it all to pulse through eyelashes, fingertips, bare toes. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe until you feel your bigness. Until the sun rises in your veins. Breathe until you stop needing anything to be different. And so taking a last deep breath in, sighing and exhaling out, letting go. Bringing this energy with us as we enter our days, noticing how autumn teaches us the impermanence, the letting go, the allowing, the trusting that this time of transition is bringing us. Handing over to God, dropping into our heart space with gratitude whenever we need to. When you're ready, just gently stretching or rubbing fingers and toes, thighs, shoulders, arms, just coming back to the space, taking in the colors and light around you, names and faces on the screen. Thank you for joining. I wish you a blessed new moon, blessed equinox. blessed transition. Thank you all.
Thanks, Nikki. Have a good day.
Thanks, Prakashni. You too. Take care. Thank you. Thanks, Hilda. Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Bev. I'm not Sue, sorry, it's Bev. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Jane. Thanks for joining. Lovely to see you all. See you next week. Thanks, Sue. Take care. Wishing you all a blessed day.